is my tie? Oh, we are on it now? Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Arad de la Cerda, and today on NTV News, we will be traveling around the world to learn about famines and transgenic food. And the best thing is that today I'm not alone, because the great presenter Santiago Casillas I'm with me.
Good afternoon, Arad, and good afternoon to all who are listening. I can't wait to start our journey around the world to learn out the interesting topic. So tell us, Arad, where are we going to go first?
Oh, good question, Casillas. First, will travel to Egypt, where we will going to meet the famous historian Max Espinosa, and he will tell us about the Greek famines in history.
So then we can become the famous British adventurer. What's his name?
Oh, yes, that who survived a nuclear explosion inside a refrigerator. I think that his name is Indiana Jones, yeah.
Arad, you can say the name here on YouTube. You know, copyrights.
Oh, that's right. Oh, no, please, YouTube. No, good guy, YouTube. Okay, no, YouTube.
Well, let's hope that Arad will solve his problem soon. For time, we will continue. So we are here. Good evening, Max.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
So tell us, Max, what can you tell us about this part of the country?
Yes, of course. Here in ancient Egypt, a couple of thousand years ago, some great famous occurred. Some of the most well-known are the famous bibliothèque Joses, history and the years of prosperity and scarcity for this area.
Oh, yes, of course. We knew that history, but it is true that it was a punishment, a divine punishment.
You came back, Arad. Everything okay?
Yeah, let's say that it's fine, but nothing to worry about. So tell us, Max, about the story of your houses.
Okay, anyway, well, it is true that I could have been because of some kind of divine thing, but I would classify it more as a water sugar because the level of the Mill River didn't rise at the time. Something quite common in ancient Egypt, which caused several great famines in the area because the entire economy of ancient Egypt depended particularly on this river.
Oh, fortunately that our economy doesn't depend only on our rivers, otherwise it will be more corrupt and dirty. But anyway, and what can you tell us about the famine trail found right here in Egypt?
Well, first, for those who don't know what I still is, it's a moment of monolith in the form of a tombstone or something like that, in which area written or were written important events in antiquity. So the so-called style of fame, the style concert of the proverb by the fame that was into the kingdom because the Nile River again had no growth and job to fill the plantations.
So the major famines were always related to river floods and water shortages, right?
Exactly. And in fact, one of the greatest famous in the history of humankind with the later trigger the greatest crisis of the Middle Age, the crisis of the 14th century characterized by the Great Black Plague pandemic.
I don't know it, but it reminds me like a pandemic, but I can mention it. But anyway, what can you tell us about this great famine, Max?
Oh yes, This great famine spread throughout northern Europe and northern Italy, which stopped the democratic and economic expansion in Middle Europe. As I say, this fame was a consequence of the scarcity of water and also the bad weather in Middle Europe. At the time, also this fame not only caused the decrease of the 14th century, it also caused an increase in crime rates and caused a great wave of murder and cannibalism. That's gross.
Oh, how interesting. Well, lucky we live in the 21st century and we have more modern technologies to affront these problems.
Yes, I know. The truth is that this century is the best, especially the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It is a strange conspiracy. But anyway, speaking of Northern Europe, do you know what our next destination is?
No, tell me, which one is it?
Oh, it's so interesting. We're going to go to the famous city of London with the British. Oh, the British.
That's cool. I will bring my tea because it's almost time for tea.
Oh yes, of course. It is already time for tea. I will bring my tea too. Oh, and we are going to visit the famous scientist Diego Delgado, who is also a big fan of tea.
Wait a few seconds.
Alright, now we are here in London, in a cool lab. For we are dressed up for the occasion in our lab coats. Yeah, it's a little bit small, but it doesn't matter. So, hello Diego, how are you?
Hello everyone, I feel fine and you?
Also good. Thanks for asking. Well, since we saw some of the biggest famines in history with Max, now tell us, how about the technology that could help us to fight them?
Oh yeah, genetically modified foods have their DNA modified with some gene from another plant or animal. That helps them to be more resistant or to be more productive, to be more efficient. For example, here in the lab, we are working to modify the potato and make it resistant to the so-called potato late blight, which is a pest that affects the productivity of the crop.
Oh, how interesting. And how do you get this to be possible?
Well, to get this, the potato to resist this pest we did was to apply a gene or compound known as a microbial peptide dermestipine B1, which comes from the skin segregation of a tropical tree frog. And what happened is that we managed to link the gene to a promoter to defend the mechanism of the plant, which make the plant to resist more and the pest.
But how real are these people? Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, sorry, Casillas. But I think that I understand the point. So if I take some gem from a plant or animal and add to some crop like potato or wheat, it will adopt this gene, right? I am right?
Well, it's not really like you said, but yes. But of course, we know that we cannot combine any gene with any plant, since it must have certain compatibility and even get to work this gene. And a major restriction that we have is the controversy that this type of foods cause. There are people who find it completely out of place idea of using an external DNA in another organism. For example, the implementation of a soil bacterium in the wheat plant, being that later will be something for human consumption.
But how real are these people's claims? Because as we all know, fake news and false ideas are spreading like foam in social networks.
Actually, the process of a combination of DNA from bacteria and viruses occur all the time in all the types of food processes. Since in the fact the processes of the food preparation often fragment the DNA, molecules in such a way that the products will no longer have genes capable of encoding information.
That means that in our daily life, products close to transgenic food. Wow. Maybe if only people will inform themselves a little more and not just believe in the fake news, scientific advantage will be faster.
Yeah, you are right, Casillas. But that's what we and our famous radio program are here to teach and entertain people about these topics. But anyway, tell us, Diego, since we know what transgenic foods are and how they work, tell us some of the most important use of this technology.
Okay, well, as we have already seen, this technology serves to improve the productivity and resistance of crops, but we can also make food more nutrition or even more appetizing, thus making it healthier and more accessible to all sectors of the population.
So, thanks to transgenic foods, we could not only end famines or part of them, health problems and even ecological problems related to garbage.
This basically we could manage to eradicate some of these problems. That's why I choose the profession of genetic engineering. It's the best.
Yeah, I think so. But, oh, it's time for tea. So I'm going to go pour my tea.
Oh, well, that's right. It's time for tea. Sorry, but I need to go. It's like a tea and fish and chips day. Sorry. Bye. See you soon.
Well, thanks, Diego. So now we are going to go, Arad.
Well, now we are going to go to the famous city of New York, the heart of the economy of the world, you know.
Oh, that's nice. And we are going to meet.
Now, well, because our newscast is very important and it's the best newscast in the world, we got an interview with the president of WHO.
What a great interview they got. How did they get it?
Well, let's just say that the United Nations does a few small favors for the scandal we covered in the 2001. You know what scandals.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh, yeah. The only bad thing is that we won't be able to see his face of the president of WHO because, you know, it is confidential.
Yeah, I know, but it could be more interesting like that. We can imagine that it's some reptilian or Illuminati.
Yeah, maybe it is a reptilian, but whatever. See you in New York.
Well, we arrived in New York, and here we are with Mariano.
Hello everyone, I hope you are well today. How are you, Arata and Casillas?
We're fine, thank you. Excuse me, can I ask you a question?
Of course, why not? Of course, why not?
It is true that you are a reptilian or Illuminati, and that's why we can see your face?
Huh, no, I'm not a reptilian. It's just that my face is confidential. You know, an attack may occur.
Okay, well, that's a good question, Casillas, but we're going to leave for another time. But Sir Mariano, what can you tell us about GM foods are healthy or harmful? Oh, and sorry for the question.
They are good. All genetically modified foods that are on the market and sold to the public are safe for humans because they go through several safety processes that are generally endorsed by our institution or by the FAO, and we guarantee that they are 100% safe.
Okay, I see. So you guarantee the 100% that is not harmful for humankind. But what about the environment?
On the environment, our main concerns are that the GM will escape from the controlled planting and may affect the wild population in the area, in addition to the stability of the gene in the plant, the loss of biodiversity, and the increased use of chemicals in the plantations.
And what are the evaluations or concerns to ensure that this not occur?
Well, we make sure that the gene to be introduced does not present undesired effects. We also evaluate the characteristics of the medium in order not to introduce an undesired gene and the stability of the genes.
Oh, very well. So then as far as our healthy and the environment is concerned, we shall not be so worried since you regulate and take care of our health.
Yeah, I think that we don't have anything to worry about. But according to your statistics, Sir Mariano, which are the countries that have the most genetically modified food and crops on their territory?
Currently, according to our statistics, only 18 countries produce this type of food, which are United States, Canada, Australia, Spain, Germany, Romania, Bulgaria, Argentina, China, South Africa, Mexico, Indonesia, Brazil, India, Uruguay, and Colombia. Honduras and the Philippines, I forgot about those. But some of these only have a few isolated crops and are not the largest producers.
So Mexico is one of the list of producers.
Yeah, I think that is a great step in the Mexican industry, and maybe at some point it could work for us.
I also think so. And a last question, Mr. Mariano. What will you do and your organization continue to do ensure that the evaluation process are carried out?
My organization and I will continue to pay attention to all processes and plantations of genetically modified foods, always looking for the welfare of people's health and seeking to make crops more productive and truly profitable. We will continue to collaborate with FAO and other national and international agencies to ensure that all objectives for genetically modified foods are met.
Oh, that's great information. So we don't have to worry about our health being affected by this technology. We have the fabulous Mr. Mariano that is in charge of our health.
Yes, I and my organization will do everything possible to ensure the health of all of you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mariano, for giving us your time and informing us of the subject. See you soon.
See you soon. The camera, holy.
You see, Arad? I knew it. He's a reptilian.
Yeah, I see that. You have reason. But we better not saying anything and we'll still silence because you know it can be dangerous.
Yes, you're right. So if you don't hear from us in the next few days, you know what it was.
Yeah. So I think that mejor well, you know, I'm so nervous about that. But anyway, we're already in the halfway throughout the program. So how did you feel on the trip, Casillas?
Well, it was very interesting, and the people we meet give us a lot of information. And you're at?
I also found the trip very interesting. The only bad thing is that I got very anxious because of all the traveling, you know, the airplanes.
Yes, I know. But we still have the to go. So let's keep going.
Well, alright. Now we are going to go to China, where we will meet a farmer who owns several hectares of land available for transgenic crops.
By the name of Paula Ayala, right?
Yeah, the same.
Okay, then. So see you in China.
Okay, see you there. Well, now we arrive in China. Oh, what a beautiful country. And we are here with Paulo, a farmer who has several thousand hectares of arable land for GM products. How are you, Paulo?
Hello, I'm fine, and you?
We're right. Thanks for asking. And you're right, Arad. It's a beautiful country, especially for its culinary customs, which cause a virus, by the way. Anyway, tell us, Pablo, what are the problems you face with GM products?
The main problem that many of us farmers face is the copyright of these products.
Sorry. I see. So therefore, they could not use the seeds of these foods either because they have a patent.
Basically, yes, it's like that. In fact, that is another major problem we face because, for example, tomatoes we cannot use the remains of the harvest to improve the next yield's crops because of the patent. Also, we cannot use the seeds without first paying or buying more seeds from these producers.
Oh wow, yes, here's a big impediment that, well, like your impediment to save the eels. And you are okay with this, with putting a parent on a living thing, basically?
Well, it's true that I might well, it's true that it may be ethically incorrect, and the truth is that I would prefer that it did not exist because it is a major expense that we have to face all farmers who work with transgenic foods. But to some extent, it's okay because I am sure that if regulation did not exist, and there will be kinds of products harmful to health in the market.
Oh yeah, I understand, and you are absolutely right. I could not imagine a world without patents. I'm sure that more than one war would have been provoked if patents did not exist. Besides, although it may be unethically to put a price on life, but I think it is less ethical to let thousands of people die daily from hunger, like in Africa, and nobody does anything to stop it. And after all, what is more important for the international community, the life of a human or the life of an animal?
Yeah, yes, that's sad, it's true. I believe that doing nothing to stop wild farmers is worse than putting a patent on an animal or plant.
I believe the same as you do, but that's what our newscast is for. To inform and for people to make their own point of view based on what they hear.
Yes, that's why we are the best newscast in the world. But anyway, science, this is starting to get a little philosophical, It's time for us to go. So thanks for the information, Paulo. See you soon.
Yes, thank you. See you.
Bye, see you soon, and good luck for the next travel.
Thank you. And we going to go now, Casillas.
I think that is Yemen, a country in a civil war for several years. So we have to take our protective helmets to go prepare.
Oh yeah, I think that we have to be prepared. Hopefully, this helmet will be sufficient.
Yes, I hope so.
So see you there, and yeah, see you there.
So we are going with Ana Jimena. Ana Jimena, how are you?
Hello, well, how about you?
We are fine, thank you. So tell us, Ana Jimena, why is the country at war?
Here in the country, there is a civil war since in 2014, which confronts several Yemeni groups, among which are the Southern Separatists, the military loyal to Hadi, the Houthis and the Islamic State of Iraq, and the Islamic group Al-Qaeda. The dispute the Yemeni government plus there is a collection of Arab countries led by Saudi Arabia, which undertakes attacks against the Houthis and as always the most affected are civilians, which are the one for whom I fight against this war.
Oh yeah, I think that in all wars, it is always the civilians who suffer the most, who have to become refugees and displaced persons. But anyway, this is not our problem. And since we have been talking about food in our whole trip, what is the situation here in the country about this topic?
Well, the situation has not looked encouraging, as according to some reports 2018, more than 85,000 children under the age of 5 died due to famine because of the war is in the country.
And I suppose because this always happens. But in this location of countries that have caused the most havoc in the war, am I right?
Yes, the situation is not very good. Well, not the situation we need. The country is the air. Attacks have destroyed some of the industrial grants in the country ports, which make it difficult or impossible for supplies to reach the countries. Besides, the naval blockade is so strong that only some international humanitarian resources are allowed to enter.
I also fear that the situation due to trade blockade is getting only worse and worse.
Yeah, the situation of the naval blockade is worse, and the numbers don't look very encouraging, and they don't seem to be going to improve either.
Yeah, I know. But well, it's time to go because we still have to visit one last person. Thank you very much for the information, Ana Jimena. See you later and good luck with your fight.
Thank you, Ana Jimena. See you later. Okay, Casillas. And who is the last person to visit?
Arad, the helmet.
Sorry.
We're only going to visit an average citizen who asked us to protect his identity. So, the identity of Mason, who is like, I don't know, 23 years old, lives in the city of Los Angeles, studies graphic design, and lives in Echo Park, 48 Preston Avenue, is totally safe.
Yeah, you know what? That we keep very well the identities of those who request us.
Wait, we are the best newscast in the world. But well, see you with the citizen.
See you. Okay, so now we are here with Owen. How are you, Owen? How does it feel to be the last guest on this wonderful newscast?
Hello, it's a great honor to be with you today.
Well, we are here with you because we want to know what an exemplary citizen thought about GMO products. So tell us about it.
Okay, well, about transgenic food, I think we should avoid to them all costs because, my opinion, it's just a good idea to play with DNA or plants or animals.
But what if we told you that many of these foods we eat every day go through a process very similar to that of a genetically modified food?
And no,
Know what average citizen Owen? Oh, good. I think that the connection with Owen are not very well, but it doesn't matter. I think that they are not very agree with the GM foods, but for other time we will try to convince him. So Casillas, here is time to go. Yeah, I think. So, but before we go, what did you think of our trip? What is the part do you like most?
Well, about the trip, I think that is so interesting because we hear all these point of views, and also my favorite part, I think, is when we meet with the scientist Diego because we talk about it.
Oh yeah, the team. But my favorite part was when we went with Mariano and found out that he really was a reptilian. I'm nervous about that. And another part when I won a fight with YouTube over copyright issues. Very interesting.
It was great. You can see how you give him a low blow, and then he gives back to you with a punch in the face. A worthy of an excellent fight.
Yeah, I think that I'm good for the WWA. And lucky that I beat him. But well, tell us in our social networks what was the part you liked the most of the trip and what you liked the most of everything you learned. See you in the next newscast. Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, Casillas. Hey, how do you think I see with this helmet?
Mm,
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.